Welcome to the Pocket Party Podcast Halloween Special. Hi, everybody. I'm Darren Carter, and it's Halloween time. Who's that? This is Michael Jackson, a.k.a. my son, AusTheBassBoss. How are you, Austin?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Let's take off our wigs and show our real faces. All right, guys. Enjoy the podcast. It's my buddy SayEm, the Asian webmaster. I know you're going to dig it. Check out his channel, AusTheBassBoss, and let's get into it. Let's start that party in your ear holes. Because guess what? And we're back.
And we're back.
Play a little music on the way out. Enjoy. Have a great day and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Pocket party.
That's a very loud instrument.
I know.
And we're back. Hey, everybody. We have a very special guest, longtime friend. You may know him from my previous podcast. Here he is, the one, the only, SayEm.
Asian webmaster.
Say that again for the people. Say that again. SayEm.
Asian webmaster. Gong.
Dude, I miss that, man. We were doing podcasts like way back in the day. It might have been like that podcast. I think we did it. It might have been 10 years now.
Yeah. It's been 10 years. Does it ring a bell?
Does it ring a bell? Yeah, exactly. 10 years, 2010. I know. Little Austin now he's 13.
That's crazy.
Dude, and let's give people a little backstory. SayEm is my Asian webmaster. That's funny because I remember when you went from, because I used to call webmasters.
Well, I was your webmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and then one day you were like, "Hey, can you call me like a web designer? It sounds more, sounds more hip. I mean, this is 2012 or whatever year it was."
I think I'd rather prefer webmaster.
Oh, no. Oh, that's good. Like an OG.
Yeah, no, it was the other way around. Yeah, I think you meant the other way around. No, call me webmaster. That's what I like.
Oh, because some of these guys are like, "I want to be a web designer." You're like, "I'm a webmaster."
No, call me the web grandmaster.
Ooh, like in chess, the grandmaster, web grandmaster.
That's right.
Dude, but yeah, we started that.
Man.
You started out, and this gives hope to anybody out there that's looking to expand their life. We started out with a business relationship because I saw your work online with these killer websites, and I was like, damn, who's doing this?
Fun.
And then I got a hold of you, and I think at that time, I think you'd been working with like Joe Coy, who's gone on to a lot of success, Ruben Paul, all these guys, and I was like, who is this guy? And then we met, and we talked, and we hit it off, and I was like, I like what you're doing. And then our relationship transformed into a friendship, man. And I was like,
right.
You're Cambodian, and I remember I always had a special fondness in my heart for Cambodians because growing up, one of my best friends, Sapatra Chor, Cambodian, and I every Cambodian I would meet, I'd be like, I'm like, do you know Sapatra Chor? Because Sapatra Chor was my good friend, man. We were like 12 years old, 13 years old, and then he was super smart, dude. He actually skipped a grade and went to another school, and then I think he skipped his senior year and went to his family. They moved to Long Beach. They went from Fresno to Long Beach. And when I met you, you're like, you lived in Long Beach. And I was like, wow, Cambodian, Long Beach.
Yeah.
You got to know Sapatra Chor.
It's a surprise, man. I'm actually am Sapatra Chor.
Yeah.
It's just me, one and only in the flesh, man. How you been, man?
Good, long time. I didn't recognize you. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, good times, man. Yeah, there's a lot of Cambodians in Fresno. I know that for sure.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is and that guy was it brings back such a fondness in my life because that was back in like the early 80s, and this is pre internet and everything. So he would like tape the radio, like KMET, and he would tape record the radio and then mail me like these like music and like a letter, like, "Hey Darren, here's what's happening now in LA," and like he would send me like the radio from LA in Fresno, and it was pretty cool. Like we were both fans of like new wave music back then, and also like Dr. Demento.
Yeah.
Remember Dr. Demento? Dr. Demento, don't forget to stay demented.
That was a little before my time, but yeah, I think my older brother.
Your older brother, yeah.
Shouts out to Sapatra Chor, man. Is a good representation for Cambodians, man. He skipped the grade. He's into new wave music. He's smart, you know.
Oh yeah, dude. He was very blunt sometimes, and he would be like, "Darren, you have to study harder. You look like nerd, but you're not that smart." Dude, very blunt. He was like, "Seriously, Darren, you look like nerd." Because I had, bright red hair and the black Buddy Holly glasses, and
you got to show that photo of you back in the days, man. It's hilarious.
Yeah, he told me he was the first one that told me I look like a nerd, but I didn't have the brains of a nerd. You have all the telltale signs of a nerd, but except for when it comes to your grades. Dude, and then I forgot about this other story, because I used to be really skinny, and I have a long, everyone has a different shaped head, like I would say that my head is shaped in a narrow, especially when I was younger, like a square head or a rectangle, like a long rectangle head, and I don't know if it was just that group of Cambodians, but their heads seem to be like more circular.
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite. Mine is like a complete 360. Like it's pie.
Yeah,
no chin. It's just a circle.
Yeah, so I remember I went to the apartment complex where Sapatra's friends lived, and there was all these Cambodians. We were in the main center area of the, and there was this old man. He was squatting down, and he said something, and everyone laughed. And I'm like, "What did he say?" And he was describing my head at that age, 11. He goes, the one guy goes, "He said your head looked like it was stuck in a vice." I was like, wow. Yeah.
That's accurate. Actually.
Dude, I know. It's like it gave me a complex for a couple of years. I think now that I put on the weight, and filled out, but at that age, at 11, when you're really skinny and your head's like super like narrow, you're like, my head was stuck in a vice. And it was funny, man. Like they taught me a bad word, and I think it's okay because I really don't know what the word means. I mean, I do, but the word that they taught me was I think it's pronounced skut, like suislate skut, skut. And I go, what does that mean? A suislate skut? And they said it means someone who's like kind of crazy. They might be naked, hanging out in a tree. Like that's the definition they gave me. I don't know. So what is
crazy? You know that, dude. That's not that bad of a bad word. It's exactly what you described. That's insane. You still remember that from when you were 11.
What does what does suislate mean? Like hello, like suislate skut?
Suislate meaning hello.
Oh,
skut, it's crazy.
Oh gosh.
No one ever says that. That's kind of weird to say to go to. That's something like a kid would say to someone.
Oh yeah, a kid from the 80s.
Yeah.
Hello, crazy. Suislate skut.
Right.
Dude, it's crazy the things that you think of from your past like that. Like I didn't even have these memories until right now when we're talking. The reason I wanted to talk to you, well, first of all, let me go back to this. Let me introduce the audience to you again. Like who if you haven't heard me heard the two of us on the previous podcast from back in the day, this is, by the way, I want to do a shout out real quick to Christopher McCrae. He's the guy I could think of off the top of my head who definitely has followed me since day one, from comedy shows to podcasts to the Pocket Party podcast to my YouTube channel, and now he's checked out my son. He's subscribed to my son's YouTube channel, AusTheBassBoss, all one word, AusTheBassBoss. So shout out to Christopher McCrae. Thank you, buddy. It's good to hear Say on the radio, right? Isn't it great to hear Say again? Yes, it is. Yo. Say, so you were doing websites, you were doing web design, and I remember at the time you were living with your parents in Long Beach, and I think you'd quit your banking job or your designing job, and you were living at home with the folks, and And you'd work for all these different comedians, working with them, and we'd be calling you from the road. Hey, I'm in Indiana, and we'd be killing time at a mall, and we during the day after we would do morning radio, we'd call you, and you were at that time you sounded like, man, this is really depressing. You guys are out there seeing the country, and I'm looking out my window right now, and I think, do you remember what you told me you saw? Like, do you remember what you told me?
Yeah. It's pretty bad when you live in a predominantly Latino neighborhood, and there's you're working from home, and there's just kids playing tetherball. There's people selling fruits. A lady comes into your apartment complex in a baby carriage selling tamales. It's confusing. I don't know. She's a bike horn screaming tamales. I'm like, did she lose her baby? Has anyone seen tamales? And meanwhile, you're trying to figure out PHP and Flash. Yeah, it was an interesting time in my life.
Yeah, I remember. I for some reason I got that visual of you said like they'd made a homemade tetherball court off of the stop sign. They tied a rope to a stop sign and put a ball on it. And
yeah.
But you were a funny guy, and I think you always wanted to. I don't know. Did you always want to do comedy, or was it only after you saw how?
That was the only reason why I started designing websites, was because I wanted to be a part of the whole comedy. I want to be in the industry, and that was the only way I felt like I kept my teeth in it by designing websites for you guys. But I didn't want to do that. That was the last thing I wanted to do. I was like, dude, I want to be on the road too. I want to tell jokes. And I think you were I had a hunch you were coming my way for some reason. It was weird, man, at that time. And then, we became friends. We were working together. And I'm like, oh my God, I remember seeing you on TV. And I was like, it's Darren Carter. Like, everyone looked at you in the industry at the time, as that's the dude, man. He's God, he's just the greatest. He's just so funny. And I can relate to you because we kind of came from the same place. And then, I think I kind of told you that I wanted to do stand-up because I didn't really tell anybody, just kept it to myself. And I think you were the first person I told. And I thank you to this day because you were the only client / friend that's like, hey man, why don't you get out of your house and let's come out with me to Hollywood. You would take me to these open mic places and just kind of show me and it was really cool, man. Because, I always looked at comedians I work with was they were like superheroes to me, and I finally had to get to, put on my cape and go out with you like Robin. It was good times, dude.
Thank you. I remember you said. I remember you said that you had this. You have a great way of talking where you're like, wow, it's so weird. You go, I get to know you guys all behind the scenes, just your regular life, and then I forget that you guys have these. And I loved it when you said that these superpowers, a comedian may go on stage and have, their style, but it's like a superhero style. Maybe they're able to just sit down on a stool, be totally calm, but say these really funny, astute observations that are so funny, and then. I think you just, then when I go up there, I'm, instantly, I remember you were like, damn, dude, when you hit him with that beatbox, it's like you energize the room.
Yeah. We were just, it was good. I felt like a student of the game at the time,
Well, my point is this, you wanted to do comedy and you started out and you started doing it and you were hitting the mics. And then, I think I introduced you to Gary Owen. Or somehow we were all there the same night, and now you're working with Gary, and you've got to tour and be a real comedian and getting out there and see the whole country, and you're almost doing more gigs than me these days. It's like I'll be doing your website.
Yeah, it's just it's in this game. I think if you stay in it long enough and you're not an asshole and you have something to provide, I think that being a webmaster, it gave me the key to provide service for people in the industry. And at the time, Gary was looking for a web designer. I'm like, I'm here, and just like you, we built a relationship from that. And next thing you know, I'm on the road with him, and yeah, man, it's crazy how things turn around like that.
Dude, that's so good, man. That's so good that you wanted to do it and you're doing it. But I texted you this morning. I just had to laugh because they have these new shoes that just dropped. They're called the Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG, quote, Dark Mocha
yeah.
quote. They were released today at 9 a.m. The Dark Mochas.
Yeah. You know I'm a sneakerhead, so yeah, when you show... Actually, I haven't been buying shoes lately because of the pandemic. I don't feel the need to be superfluous and just spend money on shoes. And besides, I'm 40 now, man. I'm 40. Who's waiting in line for shoes now? Like, come on, man.
Dude, that cracked me up because like people were like all bent out of shape online. They were like, "Oh, I logged in and gave all my credit card information, and then at 9 a.m. right there, and it said that they were out of stock in my size." And and I just had to laugh because I never even heard about these shoes until I saw it on Twitter that they were out.
Right. I got into the Jordans because I do like the old OG retro Jordans, the first ones. I think is the one you're talking about. And those are really nice. And I bought several pairs in the past, even waited in line. And I think the last time I bought the Royals, and I bought 2 pairs. And the reason why I bought them was because of the resale value. Like, it's like stocks. It's like, I can get this pair and I can resell it. And I held on it for like 3 months. And I think I profited $25 off the sale. I was like, I waited in line for 3 hours for this.
Yeah, that's
never again.
Never again. You're like, yeah. That's, but hey, you tried it though. But yeah, it's. How much were they when you? Do you remember?
It was retail. It was like $175, $175.
Oh yeah, these shoes right here. I just looked it up. It said Dark Mochas. I believe it said 170, and then it said youth size are 140, which to me that's kind of, I don't know, man. I could see why people don't. I can see why people love it because they definitely created demand where there's, it's out of stock. So people are like, I got to get them. I got to get them. And my wife said that they do the same thing with nail polish, I guess. Like they make it a limited supply of nail polish. And then, but I don't know, man. Imagine like, what if you had like, several kids, several children, and they're getting made fun of because they're shoes. And then these shoes are $140 per person. I mean, that's.
Yeah. You gotta pick up a second job.
Yeah, it's like exactly. No, you got to put the kid to work. Like, no, kid, you want those shoes? You go to work.
Yeah, right.
I used to rake leaves at the neighbors' yards. Like I'd rake leaves. Dude, I don't even think I got paid that much. How much do you think you should get paid? Like right now, let's say 2020, if you were to go around and rake leaves in different neighbors.
I don't know that because I never grew up in a neighborhood like that. I grew up in the inner city in apartments. So I don't know. Like, I don't know how much I can, I don't know, I can assume maybe $30 per lawn. I don't know. Yeah,
so I did it. I remember specifically doing it for $9.
$9?
Yeah, because I think it was 3 roommates. They probably each pitched in $3. So they probably, looking back, they're probably just doing it to be nice,
How long would it take you to do that?
The way I did it back then, probably like 5 minutes. Dude.
Yeah, well.
They got what they paid for. They got what they paid for.
Balling, bro.
Yeah.
Balling.
No leaf blower. No, it was just like all arms in my vice head, just out there. Dude, I had an apartment building that I lived in when I lived in San Diego, and the lady was. This is how cheap the rent was. This is back in the early '90s. It was $300, but if you rake the leaves, she would knock off the rent money. She would knock $15 off the rent. So towards the end of the month, I'd be out there shaking the tree. I'm like, let's go $285. Let's do this.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But nah, man. So that is interesting. Yeah, you would think like $30 makes like a lot more sense than
for a kid. It would be.
Dude. Like, especially nowadays. Yeah. I don't know what they would do in the apartment situation. People probably want to be left alone, huh? They're not like, hey, I'd like to sweep your welcome mat.
I think the property manager comes in and do all that.
Yeah. Another way that people make money out there in the neighborhoods and the suburbs and stuff is painting addresses on curbs.
Yeah. I think, dude, that's funny. I remember I was talking to, I think Vince Morris. He was a client of mine. He's a comedian too. I was like, dude, these websites are not paying enough. I think he suggested doing that. I'm like, do you know where I live? And this is when I was like in my mid-20s, and he's like, dude, you should pay. I'm not from Cleveland, dude. You can do that in Cleveland. Like, you can't do it in Long Beach.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to like color coordinate too. Is it red? Is it blue? You know, what up, cuz?
Hey, well, you in the wrong home?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what?
Long Beach Crips. You're out there like, wow, Snoop Dogg. Yeah.
Right.
Don't they get mad at you because you type 4899 in red? They're like, nah, cuz it's blue. Damn it. Oh, dude, you could capitalize on that though. Like you could do like the BLM colors or like African, you know, like what things were really popular.
Oh, no.
Red, yellow, gold, or whatever. Dude, making addresses like.
I'll just pick up a job with Uber.
Dude, have you ever driven for Uber? Did you ever do that?
No, but I'm a big fan of Uber. I take it everywhere. I use it a lot.
Oh yeah, dude. You and I talked about some Uber etiquette. Like I always say, like if you're in a crowded, like I remember, well, I haven't been in a crowded area in a while, but when I was like on the road, I remember like I went to this crowded like bar area where all the restaurants and bars were, and it was kind of like a Mardi Gras type of situation. And I, you know, I said, if you're gonna call Uber, you know, I think it's better if it's safe. Go like 2 blocks over where nobody's at and stand under a light. That way, that's easier for the driver to find you than making that poor guy like, you know, drive in a crowded area where people are walking in front of the cars and, you know.
They make you do that now.
Oh, do they? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they make you. Before they would just pick you up like in, you know, like by the trash can or something, exactly where you're at. And now they're like, hey, can you walk here? And then it's like, hey, I'm over here. And then pretty soon it's like, I'm already at my destination. I don't need you anymore.
Oh. They're like, can you walk 1 block down? Can you walk 2 more blocks? And you're like, you know what, dude, I'm already at the hotel. It's just another 3 miles. I'm just gonna.
I remember like a few years back, you can save a couple bucks if you meet like in the corner block somewhere, and everybody just congregate there. It'd be like 5 people, it'd be a pool, and you save like maybe $5. But you got to walk a block for them to pick you up.
Dude, I'm not into the Uber pool thing. I don't think I'd want to do Uber pool. I would just pay the extra $5 and just get me to where I need to go.
You're a celebrity. I was, you know, me. I kind of like the adventure, and sometimes the last time I went to Uber pool, I was in the back seat with a couple of strippers, and
what were those guys' names?
Randy and Joey. No, it sometimes it can be good though, man. Like you want to meet some people. Pool can be kind of fun.
I'm good. I can meet people other places. Like it's like the first time a club like says, "Oh no, we got a shuttle for you," and then you realize that the shuttle drops off at every hotel before they drop you off, and you're like, "Oh my gosh!" You know.
That's always something about. That's the funny thing about you. You just hate being around like other, like, I don't know. I just something like I remember like go to like a diner. It's like, hey, can we sit away from them?
Exactly. I was social distancing before 2020.
They're 80-year-old couple. It's fine, Darren.
Yeah.
I don't do it.
Yeah. Sometimes one of my lines that I would tell the hostess, I'd be like, "We're a couple of comedians. We're going to be working on some material. We might be cursing a lot out loud. So can you put us away from the?"
That's always been your thing. It was never. Can we just sit here and then we're good here? It's like, no. Can we sit over there?
Dude, I know. It's funny. These are things that you don't even notice about yourself until you get with other people. They're like, dude, you have like idiosyncrasies. And I'm like, I do? And they're like, yeah. Because, you know, I was always taught like, you know, when you go to a restaurant, you know, put your back to the wall and watch the door in case it gets robbed. Or, you know, there's no way I could sit in a restaurant with my back to the, you know, with my back facing the door, like just, and be comfortable.
Wasn't that in a movie?
Probably. I'm sure it's been in a lot. It's just common sense, I thought, but, you know. But it is interesting though, like when you hang around other people long enough, like during the quarantine, you start to notice like other family members' little idiosyncrasies, you know, but we'll leave it at that because shout out to my family members who probably will hear this. Like my buddy told me, he goes, I never noticed my dad whistles so much. You know, after being locked in the house with him for 7 months, he's like, every time I try to watch a movie, he's back there whistling. It's like, stop whistling, Dad. He's like, I wasn't whistling. Yes, you were.
Oh man.
So yeah, man, those shoes, dude. I don't know, man. maybe I'm not in that age demographic. I could care less about like that. I don't. And thank God. In my case, it's probably other things, but I am not into like spending $200 on shoes.
Yeah, I'm past that now too. I have enough shoes. I just don't see the need for it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I might buy a pair of expensive shoes like New Balance, but only for the comfort, so I don't get like like bone spurs or whatever they're called, like plantar fasciitis or something like that.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Have you ever had that? Have you ever gone to like the New Balance store and they measure your feet?
Yeah, I've been to a few stores like that, and it doesn't work. What? This thing, my feet is worse than it was. Like,
yeah.
I remember them putting, like, I remember stepping on a gel, and they mold your feet and they customize like some pads for you, and they send it. I think I paid like $200 something, and I put in my shoes. I walked in it for a week, and my it was worse than it was. I was like, this is a total ripoff.
Yeah, it almost makes it too tight, huh? Like they did that with me. They put the extra sole inside of my shoe, and then they made the shoe like extra tight. They go, it gives it comfort and support, and it'll make it really your arch. And that same thing. I tried it. I'm like, I gotta take these gel things out, man. This isn't not good for me.
Yeah. I'm at a age of my. I'm at a place in my life now where I'm just rocking Crocs. You're wearing Crocs.
Really? I never wore the Crocs. Can you run in Crocs? Like if something went down, would you be able to run?
There's some with the straps in the back, which is the one I have, but oh man, they're so comfortable, man. If you travel, I don't care how they look like anymore. I don't care what they look like, what people say. Crocs are super comfy, man. It's like, I don't know how to, it's just like walking on like clouds.
Dude, you know what's funny is I know a construction worker that has some steel toe Crocs. That joke would have been funny if I could say the damn word. Steel toe Crocs. He had some steel.
You get a chance to check them out.
Yeah. I should. I know. I have not moved up to the Crocs. I do have the Adidas slides. You know those slides that have the little bumps on them, so they massage your.
Those are good. I like those.
Those are great, dude. I go like a little bit like a size almost too big, and it feels great, dude. Like your feet really. Yeah. But I'm not at the point where I want to go in public with them. Like I haven't really like driven with them, or my brother-in-law does. He'll go anywhere with them, but like I'm just like, Like
it's not your steez.
Yeah, and I'm always like, what if the car breaks down? What if something happens and I got to walk a long way? Or just what if I don't know, man. I like to have footwear where you can get the heck out in case something happens.
Is that Fresno in you?
It's the Fresno in me. I know, dude. I'm like, as much as I'd like to.
Why is that vice head running?
I know. Oh, what were you telling me before we started about? Because I used I'm a ginger, and you said your first crush was the girl from the Divinals.
The Vinyls, dude. Like I was a big MTV VH1 kid, and I remember like this middle-aged lady. I don't know if she was middle-aged, but she had a girdle and she had a red head and she was just dancing. It's just seductive.
Chrissy Amphlett from the Divinals, and she had that song called I think about you when I touch myself.
When I think about you. Yeah, she was.
I touch my. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got to see what this is all about. I just looked it up. I'm on Wikipedia. She has a thing called I Touch Myself Project.
What?
Is it
a nonprofit?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? It's I thought it was gonna be funny. That's sad. It's about cancer and stuff. Just to touch yourself and give yourself an examination. Okay, way to bring it down, Say. Damn.
Hey, you went there.
I know. I didn't know it was gonna go there. I thought it was gonna be something like, when I think about you, I touch myself. Dude, that was like a horny. See, that was good though. That was like the start of. I don't know if it was the start of horny songs, but back then it was more to the mind, right? Like. Remember like in the 80s, like, there was a song called Stroke, Stroke, Stroke me, Stroke me, Stroke.
Yeah.
And there was another one, like Joan Jett had one. It was called, what was it? It was about touching. Oh yeah. Do you wanna touch? Yeah. Do you wanna touch? Yeah. Do you wanna touch me there? Where? Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was insinuating sex.
Yeah.
You know what she meant by that.
Especially us when we were going
That
through puberty, you know.
Yeah, it's just weird watching a music video and you're like watching Michael Jackson. And I was like, oh, you're dancing, you're moving, your body's moving in weird ways that you're not, it's like I almost lose control. And then you see Madonna, singing like a virgin, and all of a sudden your genitalia is, it's like, why is my wiener weird?
Why do I have to cover myself with a pillow as I'm watching the Waltons? Or whatever. Oh, I never noticed how hot Three's Company Chrissy is.
Right.
Mom, can we watch Gilligan's Island again?
Right.
These are some old ass shows. You got to update my references. What shows did you watch?
I watched the Three's Company, Different Strokes.
Dude, yeah, but it was Different Strokes, okay?
Hey.
Dude, anyways, like the lyrics used to be so soft, and I'm not gonna say them because I don't want to get kicked off YouTube. But I'm looking at WAP right now, WAP. Dude, there's nothing left to the imagination. It's just
none.
Nothing, none. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
They put In fact, what's cute is I put up a little YouTube video of I bought a new nozzle for my. I bought a new toy for my hose. Hey, no, a new nozzle for my garden hose, and it has different settings. It's pretty cool. And so I thought, I'll be kind of cute and call the video WAP, Wet All Plants. And my son saw that and he goes, Dad, why did you call this video WAP? Don't you know that's like possibly and plausibly? It's his new word. He likes to say plausible. It's his new big word. Possibly and plausibly the most graphic song that's ever been written.
Yeah.
I go, that's hilarious. And then I think I said something like, hey, we should do a video. Like, that'll be funny. You scolding me kind of because I called it Wet All Plants. And he's like, no, Dad, I don't want to do any, even though I'm not a big fan of Cardi B, I don't want to do anything negative about another artist.
See, hey, this kid knows how to knows the game.
I know. I thought that was. I know. I go. You're right. Actually, I thought it would be kind of cute, like father son. Harmless. But he's right though. Don't. I mean, I don't know, man. My whole life, I figure when it comes to positivity, and I know this sounds cheesy, but I kind of tied it in with my flashlight bit that I put on stage. I really do think that we should, have a light inside of us and shine light on things and be in a positive way, and then go down that negative. You know what I mean? Mindset and talk crap about people. Yeah. And even though I know that that's what, it'd be I'd have way more, I think, I don't know if I would, but I know a lot of these things are way more successful that do dive into the negativity, but it's just not what I want to do,
And that's not who you are.
I know. It's like, of course we like a little gossip here and there. We like a little of that, but then you got to realize, okay, that's too much. I can't, I like that you're into being a healthy mind as well, right? Like your healthy mind, and then you're a pretty positive dude, and then you got into exercise. I remember you and we both started doing the push-ups back in the day, right around the same time. You told me you met some Chinese guy at a party, and he was super buffed. And do you remember that? It was all about push-ups, right?
It couldn't just be a guy. It had to be a Chinese guy.
Wasn't it a Chinese guy though?
Yeah, he had a Fu Manchu, and he had some Crocs on.
Oh God, dude!
And he had a vice face. No, it was actually my friend's cousin, and he used to be a male stripper back in the days. And I was like, dude, how do you get your body like that, man? He's just, I just do push-ups. You're right. He's actually half Chinese.
Wow.
He just do push-ups, and he taught me how to do push-ups, and prison style, where you're like, okay, your first week you start off with, the first day you do 20 push-ups, you rest, for 1 minute and do another 20 push-ups, and do that 3 times for your first week, and do that the second time for your second week, and third time you rest from 1 minute to 30 seconds. And I did that, and I called him every week, and he would give me a regimen. And I remember, why am I spending money at the gym doing push-ups? People would look at me crazy.
Oh yeah, you used to go to the gym. You used to go to the family fitness center and just sweep out a corner and just start doing push-ups. No, you guys go ahead with the weights. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I did that for like a year, and then one day I just like, let me see how strong I am, and I try to pick up some weights, and I think I injured myself.
Did you get stronger, or was it totally different, lifting weights than doing push-ups?
You do get stronger, but I think it's totally different from lifting weights for sure. But now I'm back at it again, and I'm been watching. I'm actually trying to train after Charles. What's his name? Charles Glass. He's like the goat of bodybuilding, and he has a lot of good tips where you don't injure yourself and how you train properly. And I like it. I'm seeing a lot of improvements, along with also dieting and stuff like that as well. Because before then, I even know what I'm doing. I'm eating whatever's and just like lifting these heavy weights. I'm like, am I even doing this correctly? So.
That's right. Hey, Say, I know you got a lot to do today, and I want to thank you. Tonight, by the way, we're recording this on the day of Halloween Day. Do you have any big plans for Halloween night? Any plans for today?
No, just chilling, man.
Nice, man. Little family gathering, little hang out with your friends. Do you still dress up for Halloween?
No, man, no. Those days are over.
Dude, I know. I haven't I stopped dressing up for Halloween. I want to say even in like middle school. I think I pretty much stopped. Like even as an adult, when they'd have these Halloween parties, I don't know, maybe because I'm a comedian, pretty much my whole life, I just felt like I get enough attention on stage. I don't need to, look at my crazy costume I went down and bought. Like, I don't need to do that. I enjoy other people's costumes, but for me personally, I never did.
Me too. I'm the same way too.
I remember one time I dressed up like the Mummy when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and my mom had taken a couple of old bed sheets and made strips. So she wound me up like a mummy, but so I could still see I was not covered where my eyes were, so my little black glasses could poke out of the mummy.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and then you might have to go pee. So she left it an opening where my zipper is. So all you saw was like the zipper area not looking like a mummy, and then my black glasses look like a pervert, dude. I look like a total perv at the third grade dance. Like, ooh, I like what I see. It's like,
well, we hope that AusTheBassBoss don't have to go through stuff like that.
I know, dude. I know. All right, my man. Have a great day, and I'll catch you. Last question: Halloween candy. What's your favorite Halloween candy?
Oh, it has to be Almond Joy.
Oh, I love it. I love Snickers. Mine is either Snickers or Reese's, the big Reese's peanut butter cups.
Oh, I love those too.
And I do like Butterfingers, and I haven't had one of them. Actually, I don't even eat candy that often, but when I do, that's probably what I would like.
Okay. Well, happy Halloween, man.
Happy Halloween, buddy. Have a great one.
You too, buddy.
All right. We are done with this interview.
We're done with this interview.
There we go. That's my buddy SayEm. He'll be back on the show. And I want to thank you guys for listening. And if you get a chance, go to Venmo. If you want to keep the show going, you want to throw me a little something. At Darren Carter Comic. At Darren Carter Comic is where you would make a little donation. And just think of it as buy me a cup of coffee or a sandwich or something like that. Appreciate you guys. I love doing these podcasts. I love putting them up on YouTube and everywhere else. And, every donation helps. It keeps the light on, so to speak. And if you're more of a PayPal person, go to DarrenCarter.com. Hit that donate button. Anyways, hope you guys had a great time listening to the show. Get on with your day, and I'll talk to you soon. And don't hurt nobody. Be careful. Do it again. Go. Go that way. Go.